Hello there guys, Feng here, and welcome to 1849. Okay, so I actually kind of looked upon this game by chance. I was checking out the new rebuild game, I was just checking the updates and see what was going on, and the developer mentioned that her friend was working on this game, Somasim. Now, this is actually really cool. It's based in the Gold Rush period, where obviously I don't know the gist of it, but in the Far West there was obviously gold flowing through rivers and whatnot, and people was in a rush to try and mine all this good gold and get rich. And the idea of the game is that it's a town sim. You got to try and keep your patrons and workers and everyone happy. You got to try and get the commodities that you need, and there's actually quite a big focus on trade as well. You're not always going to be able to get all the resources that you need via getting it yourself. You actually need to trade. So the game is currently in 0.9.1. I did play the version before, which didn't have an option menu, which is hilarious. But yeah, we've now got an options menu, which is cool. Again, I'm gonna need to say this is an alpha. As with any other alpha game that I cover, you have to bear in mind that this is not a representation of the final product. There's gonna be bugs, there's gonna be crashes, and there's gonna be features that aren't currently in the game. So let's bear that in mind. So as you can see, there is music for the game, which I've turned off for obvious reasons. There is no sound effects, unfortunately. Sob. But that's fine. And there's also a full screen mode and high-res textures, which we are using. Now, previous to that, there wasn't a full screen mode or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm glad I can actually record it in 1080. So, that's brilliant. Now, there is supposed to be a sandbox mode for the final release. And it looks like there might be a scenario mode too, which I really enjoy. I do prefer to play scenario modes and sandbox modes rather than story modes. Story modes to me, for these types of games, are basically the tutorial of the game. So that's what we're going to play because that's all we have access to. Yay. Right, let's crack on then. So, we are starting at Novator. Hide and seek. Build a hunting settlement that will sell hides to San Francisco. Okie dokie then. Hang on, this is Gold Rush. Yes or no? So, let's build stuff. Okay, so here is the UI. And my city advisor says, hello, you're the new mayor. Well done, pleased to meet you. You've now got to start getting stuff on the roll. So there we go. Okay, so this is the interface. So this just shows a info layer of other stuff that might be around. So like gold and silver, iron, etc, etc. We have our population here, which is sadly only 3, which we'll soon sort out. The amount of money we have in dollars. Of course, we also have a forward and a fast forward and a pause, which is always nice. We have our inventory stocks, which as you can see, we have a fair few meat, nice bit of meat, and some hides. This is the trade menu, which we'll go through a bit later. This is the options menu, which conveniently has a few debug options at the moment. Yes, lovely grant all resource, nice way to cheat. And also to delete the save file, which I've had to do a few times because I've completed this scenario quite 2 or 3 times now. So yeah, I have quite a bit of knowledge of the game. And this is the building menu. There's actually quite a few tabs. So this focuses on housing and stuff like saloons and churches and stuff like that. We've got roads and other stuff like that. These are basically just for decorative purposes by the look of it, but it would be some of these like illuminate the street at night, and there isn't actually a day and night cycle in the game, so I'm wondering if that's going to be implemented in later on, which would be really cool. We've got stuff like food. This is the food tab. Food, you can make food, drink, and other kind of commodities here. This is where you can get access to raw resources like wood and stuff like that. We don't have access to it in the tutorial, and this is where we can make I think the tertiary kind of things, the secondary and tertiary type of resources and commodities. So yeah, so we're just going to focus on doing this for the time being. So we're going to build houses. So we can make a new housing lot by clicking and building here. So we need to make 3 altogether. Now, houses are pretty cool in this game. I really like how the houses kind of evolve on their own. So, at the moment, we have a single galway. We have a single small shack, which houses 4 residents. You do get income per week for residents living there, and you can see that this house currently stores food. Now, it's the actual upgrade system of this is really unique because it will actually automatically upgrade if they have the resources available. So at the moment, 8 food. If we just go forward a little bit, you can see that it kind of evolved then. So it actually now upgraded to a large shack because we managed to supply the food that it needed. Now we now need lumber if we want to get it to the next upgrade, which we'll probably do in a bit. We've just got to wait for these other houses to build. The great thing about houses is that they don't actually cost anything to actually build. It doesn't cost you any money, doesn't cost you resources. But what it does cost you is ongoing resources each week. So you have to bear that in mind. So you have to make sure that you're producing enough or trading enough of the resources to accommodate for people and their needs. So there we go. Yes, now they'll pay rent. And now we need to make a hunting station. Is it hunting station? No, hunting camp. So hunting camps will provide meat and hides, and we do need hides to be able to sell, and we need meat to obviously survive. So there we go. Excellent. And now we built one. Yay! It's finally growing. Okay, so these types of buildings usually occur cost per week. As you can see, the hunting camp does cost $15 per week to run, but of course it will produce meat and hides, which is always nice, and it will also require a certain amount of workers. Now you can also upgrade these buildings as well. As you can see, we can actually get an upgrade here for scouts and increase the production, which I think we'll do because we've got the money for it, so I might as well. It doesn't tell you to do this in the tutorial, but sod it. Some upgrades will require resources rather than money. As you can see, advanced traps do require iron, which we can't do because we haven't got no iron. Sad face. Okay, so I'm going to let that carry on running. We're going to check the goals and see what I'm doing at the moment. So okay, so we've now built 3 houses in our settlement. So the next one is open a trade route to import lumber. Upgrade your shacks to log cabins. Okay. So this is where we will go to the... Yes, go away. I know how to do it. Shut up. Pause. Okay then. So this is the trade system. This is actually really cool, and it's pretty realistic as well. I mean, you're not going to be able to produce all the resources in your town. You're going to have to import it. So we need lumber now. Yeah, I know it's absolutely hilarious because of the amount of trees that's around this place, but trust me, we can't make lumber. So it does usually cost an amount to actually open the trade route, but once it's open, you've got access to it. So unfortunately, this one only allows to sell lumber. However, some trade routes will often give you more than one, so you might be able to sell stuff like ale and cheese to the same city or whatever, or you might be able to buy stuff from the same city. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so we're gonna buy 20 lumber apparently. No, we're not. We're gonna buy 30 because I want to confuse the tutorial. Okay, so there we go. We've got 30 lumber. Brilliant. Now, as you've probably noticed, we've actually now got an upgrade on the house. So as you can see, now we've got the lumber to supply it. It will now upgrade. So now we can house 7 residents, and we have 14 income per week, which is really nice. And it even says there, residents take resources from depot and use them up every week. So that's cool. Okay then. Now I'm not too sure exactly how long a week is in game because it doesn't really tell you. It just gives you obviously the month, the day, and the year, but it doesn't actually tell you what consists as a week. So that's kind of weird, but you know that's fine. We can live with that. Okay, so now we need to stockpile 20 hides and then sell them to the merchants. So that should be pretty easy. So if we just check so we can open a trade route to San Francisco so that buy hides. Now we've only got 40 in stock. We could sell these straight away, but I might as well wait until we get more hides. So I'm just going to fast forward this until we get said hides, which we're very close, and then just sell them all at once. You can trickle them if you want, but might as well just sell them all. There we go. So let's sell 22 to confuse the tutorial, and there we go. So yay! That's the first tutorial level. Okay, so this is the second one. This is Stockton. Let's go. Your little settlement in the woods turned out to be a great idea. With some cash in your pocket, you head for the Central Valley. The land here is profitably Yeah, preferably whatever, fertile, and the rivers make for easy transit. And you notice the new colours into California are quite the thirsty lot. Okay, so maybe this might be the time where we make ale. And it is. Yay. Let me just take a drink. Thirsty work. Right then. So we need to feed the people. Have one wheat farm and one bakery. We also need a vineyard and a winemaker. And also have a decent amount of residents. Okie dokie then. So, even though this is the tutorial level, this is actually one of the more fun bits. So, we now need to concentrate on getting food and drink. So, we do have food. We don't have a lot of it. So, we need to produce our own food and our own ale. We can buy lumber. So I take it that we can't actually make a lumberyard, which is very sad indeed. But that's fine. And we can sell bread and wine. So it's always a good idea every so now just to check and see what you can actually sell and what you can buy, what you can actually produce and what you can't produce. So there we go. So let's start off with a can't we make a fishing? Ah, that's odd. Okay, whatever. So we can focus on a ranch, I think. I think a ranch might be a decent idea. So we can produce meat, cheese and eggs. However, we can't actually sell any of those, so bread might be the better alternative for the time being, because we can make food for production as well as possibly sell it. So I'm just going to stick that over here. So there we go. We have a nice wheat farm on the rip. Now we're going to need a bakery pretty much shortly after, so I'm going to stick that there. Hey, there we go. In addition, start wine production. A vineyard and winemaker. Now we can't afford, we could actually afford both. So I'm going to get a vineyard there. Actually no, I'm going to stick it there. And I'm going to make sure that there's a road here. There we go. You have to make sure that all production buildings are connected via roads, otherwise they can't actually get to the depot. So you have to bear that in mind. Okie dokie then. So what else do we look for? We got the bakery. Oh, we need the winemaker. Of course we do. So we can stick that there. Now we've only got $350 at this point. So we need to make sure that we have enough houses to cover the cost. Now, of course, we need to build that there. So we've got 3 houses there. That's fine. I usually make around about 3 houses anyway, roughly on the very start. You can grow wheat and grapes here, but people can't eat wheat or drink grapes. Well, of course not. That's the reason why I made a bakery and winery. Of course. Okay, so we're going to carry on. Welcome to the new town. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now, actually I should probably show you this. There is actually an advisory tab as well, so you can either click the tab or you can click the population or money, it doesn't really matter. So, as you can see, we don't have enough workers, considering building more housing to attract newcomers. Now, obviously, we don't have that because we haven't even started yet, so just leave that running and the population will eventually go on track. And, of course, this is your financial advisor. He will tell you how much you're paying wages-wise and how much rent you're collecting. Really useful. So at the moment we're not really collecting that much rent because people are just starting to move in. Now we need lumber, and that is actually one thing that I forgot about. Oh, well done, Feng, you bloody idiot. Okay, so we could open the trade route. We need to be careful though because we don't have a lot of money. Now if you do go down to $0 and you do overspend, you are kind of given a Goes Jail Free card where you are given $500. But that's it. So if you go below budget again, then, well, go over budget, then yeah, you basically lose the scenario. So yeah, you need to be careful about that. So I'm going to actually open the trade route, and I'm just going to buy 20. That should suffice for now. And I might even risk possibly making another house. Now, as you might notice, there's a saloon there. A saloon, yes. So, saloon relieves boredom and grows the town, but also increases crime. So, I'll go through that in a bit. We're not really that worried about it for the time being, but we'll be very shortly. So, yeah, we're actually running out of money at this point. But no, we're okay. We're good. While the houses pay rent, you have to pay to keep your farms and businesses running. Yes, once you build a farm, it will take some time for the produce to grow and harvest. Yes, that's kind of, you know, common knowledge. And we now have 15 population. Okay, so we actually need to attract 50 residents. Now, we can either do that by building a shitload more houses, which would do it, actually, but I want to try and actually get enough lumber and booze to be able to actually grow these. Now, as you can see, then they need lumber. Lumber's the problem at the moment, so we'll buy some more lumber. Or even better, maybe we can open a trade route to wine. We can actually sell some bread. I mean, it's not going to be that much, but we can sell it. Possibly open the wine and sell that. That's fine. Now, we don't have any stocks, which is unfortunate, but that's fine. That's fine. Until residents start leaving. Now, this is the other unique thing about this system. So, if you don't have a commodity that the residents want, that is actually a few tiers down the line. So obviously if you didn't have any booze, for example, then it will actually downgrade. Sorry, lumber I should say. Then it will actually downgrade. It actually says there, it ran out of lumber, so this house will downgrade soon. And that's not a good thing, of course, because your rent will actually go down as well as the amount of people. Now, if you actually have too many population to the houses that you have, they will actually make tents. Tents are horrible because they will always use up food and you can't actually get no money off them. So you need to make sure you have enough housing, or enough good quality housing. Good quality housing is always better than lots of low quality housing. But of course, during this particular tutorial, you're kind of restricted in the sense that you can't always get the resource that you need to advance, but that's fine. So as you can see, we desperately need lumber. So now we've actually got a stockpile of stuff. We can sell some of the wine, some of the bread, and we can then buy some wood. We can actually probably buy quite a bit of it. We can buy 50 planks. That's great. Well, 50 lumbers. Sorry. There is actually planks in the game. You can build a sawmill eventually, and they will cut the logs into planks. So I shouldn't have used planks there, but that's fine. Okay. So. Are we getting on? Are we actually producing the... So there we go. Now we need the salon. The saloon, not salon. The saloon. There we go. So there we go. I'm going to build that. Now there was kind of an area influence, so anything in that area of influence will actually fulfill the needs. So as you can see, we've actually covered these 4 houses quite nicely. Now it's going to cost a little bit per week to keep these kind of buildings running, but only a little bit, and it does require a worker. Relieves boredom, it grows the town, but also increases crime. Now we're not going to go through crime in this particular tutorial, I don't think. It'll be in the next one, so we shouldn't really have any crime for the time being. But as you can see, these will soon upgrade, even though it's not saying that yet. There we go, and they've actually upgraded now. So as you can see, we now need boards, and we don't have any boards, so that's a shame. I don't think we can make a sawmill. Oh, we can make a sawmill. Oh my. But we do need some monies first, so we need to bear that in mind. I think maybe I'm going to build 6 more houses. Not 6 more, sorry, 2 more houses to make 6. We might actually finish the level as well by doing that. Yeah, we actually might. But that's fine. As long as we've covered that, then that's actually fine. As you can see, I'm actually low on lumber again, so we need to buy more. So let's buy 50 more. I can probably sell some of these as well. That's fine. So as you can see, there's an absolutely massive emphasis on trade. I mean, you're going to constantly have to keep buying stuff that you need if you can't produce it. Which, you know, is kind of cool. I wished some of it was a tad bit more automated, maybe. I mean, it's not so bad during these tutorial levels and some of the earlier levels, because it's best off to just work on manage that. But once you get further into the story mode, or when you play sandbox mode in late game, you might want something a bit more automated, so you don't have to keep going and doing the bloody slides and everything. So yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I think I'm going to end this particular video here, and we'll continue on next time. So I'll see you later, guys.